right, so I just got to the studio. Oh, it's about 9:15. I am scheduled for a parent and me class, but I still don't have anybody on my roster. And I know that there was a family who wanted to try, but they only wanted to come on certain days. I'm going to set up for my creative dance class anyway, even though normally I would not put any props out for parent and me because they're distracting, especially to the little ones. So worst case scenario, if that family shows up, I will just push my balance beams off to the side. So we will see what happens. But let me show you the balance beams that I'm going to be using because we are going to be exploring dancing under the sea. And we're starting this week with pathways. So here's my prop shelf and my different balance beams. If you've been following me on my YouTube channel, then you know that I pretty much use these balance beams in almost every class. Hello.
Hey.
Are you guys here for the mommy and me?
Yeah, we're gonna do the trial class.
Perfect. Okay, so update. My mommy and me family did show up, so I'm not gonna set up my balance beams yet, which means that I'll probably need to, what do I wanna do? I feel like they'll be really distracting. I wonder where I could put them where they won't be so distracting because I don't have a break between my classes. This is when it gets really hard as a dance teacher to make decisions. I think what I'll do is I will build out my straight one and my curvy one, and I'll wait to build out the zigzag one because that's the biggest one. And then I'm just gonna push them over here by the bar. Let's go ahead and do that. So I put them together and I push them underneath the bar. I'm hoping that they won't be a distraction. I think that this will be fine. I'll let you know. I will post an update to how it goes today. But this is what I've done, and then I will set up the zigzag one when my kids get here. So I finished the mommy and me class a couple minutes early. It was just a mom and a grandma and then a set of twins, and they did as expected for the age. So my mommy and me is 18 months to 3, and those kids were closer to 24 months, but they did a good job. But because it was just them, we couldn't play as many parachute games and group prop games as we normally do. So I ended a couple minutes early, and now I am preparing my creative dance class, and I want to get all of the balance beams out before my kids come in because we're going to do the Goldfish Song. So, and they kept wanting to come in as I was setting up, and I kept telling them, I'll open the door, I'll come get you when we're ready. But yeah, so I'm setting up my zigzag, and then I'll pull out my straight and curvy pathways too. So we're all set for the Goldfish game after our warm-ups. Quick snapshot of the classroom setup. Okay, all my classes are done. I still have a mess that I have to clean up with my balance beam, so I'm going to clean that up real fast, and then I'll kind of run you through what we did today in both of our classes and kind of give you a summary of how it went. talk about my balance beams. I was sort of interrupted at the start of the video when my parent and me people showed up. So I started last week. This is week 2 of summer session. And for creative dance last week, we did Laurie Flamingo's first ballet class. I filmed a whole vlog on that last week if you guys want to go back and watch it. So this week, I wanted to start my theme, which was dancing under the sea. So I set up, I've already torn it all down. I'm not going to set it back up. I did take a picture of the kids with the balance beams all laid out in the different pathways. But I like starting with pathways early on because I use these balance beams in every single class. I start talking about the shapes that they make. So when I'm building it, because I don't always have a chance to build out my obstacle courses ahead of time, or if I have them pre-built and I just pull them out into the middle of the room like I did this morning. When I can do that and we can review, and I'll say, do we remember what this shape is? They can remember, oh yeah, that's a straight shape. Or that, this one is a curvy shape. 2 of these together can make a zigzag shape. So I can start using that terminology again and repeating it week after week. So for me, I like starting with pathways early on. I don't think there is necessarily a right place or a wrong place. I think you have to make that determination as a teacher and what is going to work best for you. So I just kind of wanted to put out that disclosure why I'll start with pathways or I'll start with motions. I think the idea for me is to just get through the concepts. I mean, we go through 18 concepts in the Dance to Learn curriculum, which is quite a bit. And sometimes doing things like concept stacking will help as well. And that just means we will explore sizes and levels in 1 week, or we will explore body shapes and pathways because they tend to be, we can do curvy arms on a curvy balance beam, or we can do straight movements on a straight balance beam. So we'll concept stack in that way a lot of times, and that kind of helps us get through the concepts faster as well. But let me kind of walk you through what I did today with the props and what I didn't get to, because I know I brought a lot of things today and I didn't get to everything that I brought. But if I had more time, I will tell you what I would have done. So what I did, this would honestly probably work better with a connect a band, which I do have. I just don't have it with me in my suitcase. So this is the full elastic stretchy band. But if you put it together and just kind of stretch it, you can see it's now a pretty straight pathway. So we did the different pathways, and I just had all of the kids move the fish down the straight pathway. So we see the pathway, we will say it. So we'll all say straight as we move the fish, we touch it. So I try to have a manipulative, something they can get hands on with. And then I laid out my straight balance beam right here in the front, and we all tiptoe walked with straight arms. So we kind of did a little concept stacking today, straight arms, and we tiptoe walked down the straight pathway. So that was, we move our body to the concept. So that was see it, say it, touch it, move. Then I moved my stretchy band to make more of a curvy wave. So then it looked like this. And then the same thing. We saw it, we said curvy, and we touched and we moved our fish along the curvy pathway. And then I had my curvy balance beam sit up over here, and we put on our curvy arms and we tiptoe walked down the curvy one. A lot of the kids couldn't quite get on their tiptoes. It was okay. I just told them to walk down the pathway. We're mixed levels for summer, which I think is pretty common because half the class has done the class before and then half the class hasn't. But that's neither here nor there. It's totally fine. Then the last one is zigzag, and that's kind of the hardest one to make. I just try to add one more little like curve in here, and trying to keep the pieces together, like doot, doot, doot. So something like that could be a zigzag. And then we did zig, zag, zig, zag, and we moved it more sharp up, sharp down, sharp up, sharp down as our fish zigzagged. And then in the back of the room, this is where I had set up my zigzag balance beam, and I tried to get them to march. A couple of them were really good at marching. A couple of them were still just kind of holding my hand, and I was helping them down the balance beam. So that was our concept play. That's usually how we start class. Then we did a very quick brain dance. This is when my blowfish was introduced. Let me grab my blowfish and I'll show you what we did with Mr. Blowfish, which is a lot of fun. So this is Mr. Blowfish. It's just an expandable ball. You can get these off of Amazon. They usually sell 2 in a pack. I somehow just found one with 1 in a pack, which is fine. But this is our blowfish, and we use him to practice breathing. And then I'll pass him around the circle and we'll all copy the blowfish breath. And then because I knew we were gonna do some blowfish jumps in our obstacle course, we also stood up. We stood up and we practiced like blowfish échappés, where we jump big and little and big and little on our spots. So that's Mr. Blowfish. That's how you can include an expandable ball. The kids really like playing with this. It's a fun toy. It's hands-on, so it's tactile, gives them that tactile experience. Then we just went through a regular brain dance. We had some fish swim to our toes, fed the fish, pet the fish, with our different, brushes and tickles and pats. Then we did starfish. So starfish is just core distal. So core, starfish, starfish. That's really fun. Then we did head tail. So we were seashells, and the seashells were rocking in the waves. And then we put on our seashell arms, and the seashell closed and opened and closed and opened. So that was seashell. Then we did upper and lower. So we just did some wiggly squiggly seaweed arms. I wanted to add streamers. I just didn't have time. So we just did our arms, and then we were snails for our lower, and we made straight pathways in the sand, and then we were fish, and our fish swam up to the top of the ocean. They took a big gulp, and then the fish swam down the ocean. After that, for body side, we were octopi, and I didn't partner my dancers up. Number one, I only have 7 dancers, so I don't have an equal number, but we pretended we had 8 legs. So our octopi showed off one side of their legs and then the other side of their legs, and then we moved all of our legs together, and then we stayed here and we did cross-lateral fishies swimming up and down and all around and all over the place, and then we finished with bubbles for a fun little vestibular swim. After that, we did the Goldfish Song, and I probably should have taken a little more time to explain the game. I might try it again next week. I think next week, I felt a little frazzled today because I was like trying to get everything set up, and between mommy and me and creative dance, because there's a lot of setup to do. I might request for maybe the fall to get like a 15-minute break between mommy and me and creative dance. It might help me, especially if I don't have an assistant. We did the Goldfish Song. We all went to sleep on our spots. And then the first time when we go swimming, we all walked along the straight one. But then they didn't know to go back to their spots. And I kept saying, go back to your spots, go back to your spots, but they weren't quite hearing me. So I think next week, if I do it again, we'll practice first. Like, we're all going to walk on the straight one, then go back to your spot. And because we're going to take a shower. And then we go to sleep. And then we're going to go to the curvy one. So let's all practice walking on the curvy one and then go back to your spot so we can go to sleep. So I probably could have taken the time to explain that a little better. They got it by the end. By the end, after I helped them. And then again, I have some little ones who kind of go on the balance beam a little bit slower. Like I have a brother and sister team, and the sister, I've danced with her before. She actually started in my creative dance class on this Monday, and she's since moved into pre-ballet and ballet tap, but she's doing this class with her brother. So because I know she's danced with me before and she feels comfortable, I was having her help him, which helped me out. So I had kind of a little mini assistant to help me. And then there's still a couple kids who are like very timid. So I was like helping them. So they weren't quite moving along the balance beam fast enough, which is fine because they can move at their own pace. But it meant that they weren't able to do all of the stuff. Like we totally missed the shower, which is fine. But once we kind of got curvy and zigzag, we kind of got it. Because I think teaching leading and following is a really important skill as well. So that's why I tried to include that this first week. So if I do Goldfish again, I'll keep you guys updated on how it goes the second time around. Sometimes just repeating an exercise makes all the difference. And then after that, we just had time for an obstacle course. So I did straight, balance beam, balance dome, and I have my little stingray stuffy, and I put my stingray stuffy on one of my balance domes, and we did a little arabesque with a straight leg because the stingray has the straight tail. And then I did my curvy balance beam and then our blowfish jumps, which almost all of the kids had a hard time with the blowfish jump. So I gave them Mr. Blowfish to open big and little. And I think it was just too much for their brain to process, especially for the second week. So next week, I might change it to a starfish jump and we'll get rid of Mr. Blowfish. That way, all they have to do is focus on their feet jumping big and little. Because I had some kids just jump with big feet and they forgot to do the little. And then I had some kids who were just playing with Mr. Blowfish and forgot to jump. So it was definitely an interesting station. So we'll keep practicing that one. So I think next week we'll just change it to a starfish jump and do starfish jumps along the dots and the cones. And then I kept my zigzag, we marched, and then my twirling station was just a hula hoop, and I said, spin around and say, life is the bubbles, kind of like what they say in The Little Mermaid. Then it was just time to clean up. So I always do colors, so I will say, so-and-so, you pick up 2 red pieces, especially when all of my balance beam pieces are out, so they get 2 of the same color. For some reason, one of the little girls she kept wanting to pick up orange and yellow, and I had to tell her 15 times, 2 orange pieces, and she's danced with me before, so I don't know if she was just being silly, if she just wasn't focused today, I don't know. I was like, 2 orange ones, you have a yellow one and an orange one in your hand, pick up 2 orange ones, because I've just given somebody else yellow, and now you've picked up the yellow ones. So it took a little bit longer than I wanted, but that's okay. They like helping me clean up. Then at the end, we caught a fairy because I forgot to do it when we did our transition, and they really wanted to catch a fairy. And then we did stamps. And you know what? Even though I started late, I started class maybe 3 or 4 minutes late, and then cleaning up, we went late. We still got through the whole class in 45 minutes. I did not go overtime. I went over start and end time just because I started late, and I always want to make sure I make up for it at the end, but we got through the whole 45 minutes. So for that, I am happy. But let me show you what I did not get to today, which I'm hoping that I can get to. It's a very short session. We only have 5 weeks, but I do want to get to these items at some point. So let me show you what I missed today that I was not able to get to. Okay, what I did not get to today was streamers. So we were going to do a little seaweed dance where we moved the streamers in different pathways. So like straight pathways, curvy pathways, and then zigzag pathways. The other thing we did not get to today was my movement cards. So you guys have seen these. These ones are for creative dance. So we have different things like leap over the waves or shark attack, everybody run, twirl like a mermaid. So I'll include these at the end of class for free movement. And I was gonna put out my balance domes. I was gonna have the balance domes be like a seashell, and we would have put on seashell arms and maybe, I don't know, done a plie, or we could have done like a dive for a pearl or some freeze and then move on the seashell. We could have also done bubbles, and maybe we could have like been stingrays on the bubbles or whatever. So just different ideas, but I did not have time to get to this today. So hopefully I will get to this next week. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today for this week's YouTube video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to click on that red subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you never miss a video. I will see you guys next time here on the Dance to Learn YouTube channel. Happy dance adventuring!